Good morning, traders. Welcome to the market call for today, the 20th of July 2026. We're excited to have you all here in this new week. Being the last week of the month of July, we have had a very, very eventful month because of so many things that has been happening across the Forex markets and across other markets that we trade and we analyze with you. We're going to be going straight into the market follow for today. My name is CJ, and alongside me we have Demola, Cynthia, Abby, and Leifo, who are going to be joining us in the market follow today to share their bias and their thoughts on currency pairs that we trade, and also to share possible trades that we're going to be taking today on these pairs that we trade. Okay, so if you're listening, if you're joining us from wherever you are, welcome to the market follow. Straight, we're going to be beginning our conversation with our analysis on gold this morning. Looking at gold this morning, we've had a quick sell on gold this morning during the Asian session. We also saw how that gold is possibly going to resume back to the upside. We're going to quickly show you some of the things we saw that are making us to feel that way. Now, if you look at gold carefully, you observe that there is a box pattern right here. And then right before the box pattern, there is some liquidity grab that happened here on Friday. Okay, it was very quick, and afterwards you can see how price had rejected back to the upside from here. So we're expecting some push to the upside on gold, and then a continuous sell-off afterwards. So although we expect a resistance around this region, if you go back to the 1 hour time frame, it becomes a bit more clearer. You can see it here, which is the order block on this particular level. So we're expecting some rejections around here. You can see how that as we saw a quick sell to the downside when price tapped into this region. So if this region doesn't hold price, then it might be heading further and further to the upside. Another place that we're expecting some resistance on gold is somewhere around here after price must have grabbed liquidity residing just here. So these are the two places we're expecting gold to get to before we see a strong resistance to the downside. It has gotten to the first one, and we saw the quick sell-off, and now price is resuming back to the upside. I'm expecting price to buy back all the way to this particular level right here. So this is my bias on gold. I'm waiting for a buy all the way to this region, and then I'll take a quick sell. Remember, we're just trying to take as much as we can, because gold right now is not looking very, very liquid for us to grab so much. So we're just taking as much as we can, little here and there, and we'll be exiting almost as soon as possible, because we're trying to take quick scalps on gold as we trade to the upside. Just as we're analyzing, my attention was drawn to this particular level here, which could also serve as another point of interest for gold. So we might see gold buy again all the way to this level here before another round of sell. So we're looking at gold making a play like this to the upside from here to this level here, and then a quick sell-off, and then we're expecting another move to the upside like this all the way to this region, and then a sell-off. So two levels we're expecting gold to buy and sell from this particular level right here. Quick one here and another quick one right here. So we're expecting a buy on gold to this region and a sell-off from there. So talking about a buy on gold, you can see gold has started gaining momentum all the way here. So we'll wait for a return, and then we'll execute a buy to the upside. So I'm waiting for gold to just give me a quick return here, and then I'll buy to the upside. And while I'm waiting for a return, I'll be looking out for engulfing candles to the upside or variation patterns, more of like a morning star pattern, which would give me a good entry to the upside. Okay, so if we see something like this particular pattern 1, 2, and 3, we'll be taking our entry on gold again to the upside. All right, so these are the things we're looking out for on gold. Now, if we switch to GBP USD, we're expecting some bullishness on GBP USD. Haven't seen the retracement. Oh, sorry, GBP JPY. Sorry about that. We're expecting some bullishness on GBP JPY. Haven't seen some retracement a couple of weeks ago. A couple of days ago, we saw retracement of GBP JPY to this particular level here, tapping into this liquidity pattern, this fair value gap, and this old high. After that, we saw the rejection back to the upside. So for GBP JPY, we're expecting a buy back to the upside. If you take a quick look at the yen basket, you would also notice that the yen basket is resuming its sell bias. It's continuously selling to the downside. So at that, we're expecting more buys on GBP, JPY. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, now looking at the 4-hour time frame of GBP, JPY, you can see how that it has sold strongly into this region here, and it's buying back to the upside, just like we said on the daily time frame. We go back to the 1-hour time frame, it also shows us the same thing. So for GBP, JPY overall, we're expecting a buy. And where are we targeting? We're targeting these highs that were created on the way downward. So I'll be looking out for bullish engulfing candles or morning star patterns on GBP, JPY, something like this particular candle pattern, 1, 2, and 3. If I see it print out here on GBP, JPY, I'll take my buy. If not, I'll wait for price to retrace possibly into this fair value gap, and then I'll be looking for my buy on GBP, JPY. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting on GBP, JPY. A buy to the upside, and I want to see a quick retracement. An entry pattern will show up, possibly a bullish engulfing or a morning star pattern, and then I'll take my buy to the upside. Very similar thing to what we're expecting on Euro JPY. So I'm looking out for a buy on Euro JPY, just as I am on GBP JPY. For Euro JPY, I'm looking for an entry pattern as well, and I'm also looking for price to return to this other block right here. Either of the two will give me a buy on Euro JPY, and I'll be targeting these highs that were created along the way to the downside. So these are the two things that I'm expecting on Euro JPY. Okay, so once you see a good entry on this pairs, we're going to be executing it. So for Euro JPY and GBP JPY, I'm expecting a clear buy. And then for gold, we're expecting a sell, but then we'll be taking some buys and then some sells as we take quick scalps across board on gold. So this is the things that we're expecting to play out today. Very quickly, we're going to diverge a little into synthetic indices analysis, and then we'll come back into forex pairs analysis. And for the synthetic indices analysis, we have Lekon, who's going to be sharing his thoughts with us as we proceed in the market column. Good morning, Lekon.
Good morning, CJ. Good morning, everyone. That was a very insightful analysis. As a matter of fact, for good, I've been trying to, follow what you just said now, and it really makes a lot of sense to see where we are heading to in the course of the week. So just get your fingers up because I'm behind you, so that we can get the whole box together. All right, so quick one for synthetic indices, as the market already delivered our expected move in the course of the weekend, especially for some of the volatility pair like the 75 1X and also this 75 itself. So this morning, a fresh chart and a fresh outlook for us to see where we are heading to in the course of the week from today till Friday. And if there's any opportunity, we'll discuss more in our community, right? So this one, let's start with the 75 index. Looking at it on the daily time frame, we've seen the clean and clear structure that we are very much bullish now all the way to the upside. All we need to do is look out for pullbacks, then we join the continuation. All right, so right now the first level I am looking out to take the 75 index buy is from the 1-hour perspective, which is right now right below here. We can see how that this structure took out all this liquidity here, and we have a clean clear new structure high formed. All right, so this is the shoulder. We have price to come all the way into this level, but a little bit concerned for me because I won't just execute if price tapped that shoulder level. Yes, you can if price tap the shoulder level. However, I'm of the opinion that this in what we call inducement would be taken out before we begin to see the buy. So this is a very tiny stop loss kind of trade, as price will just take out this low and would begin to buy all the way to the upside. All right, so this is what I'm looking out to see in the course of the week for this 75 index. Price coming to take out this low, then we begin to buy all the way back up with our stop loss just very few pips around that point, and we are targeting all the way this liquidity point here. So that's almost about 1:6. All right, this high is what we are targeting, because there is another probability that we may want to see further sell on this 75 after price delivers this. Okay, so that is the first entry. The second entry is on the 2-hour time frame. So when we buy, we are looking for opportunity for price to pull back all the way down again for it to push a little bit more to the downside. So for the second entry by signature that we're seeing that price should come and take out all these supports that we have here, take them out. All those liquidity should be cleared and tap into this to our shoulder level. Then when price taps into that level, we begin to buy all the way to the upside again. So this is the first trade entry for the 75 index. Then we will now wait for the second entry, which is at this point. After price takes out this, allow price tap into this shoulder and our stop loss just below this low here, and we are following it all the way to the upside. 1:2 or 1:3, you get and move out of the trade. All right, so that is that for the 75 index. Now a quick one to the 75 1S. Now if you look at the 75 1S, we are still very much bullish. And on Friday, if you join the market call on Friday, we're looking to see our buy around this point, this shoulder level here, which was what price came to do late Friday night. It was triggered Friday night and it delivered clean because this was our target. Delivered that on Saturday, and price is now pushing all the way back down now. So this morning, I'm of the opinion that this is going to be the next target point, price coming all the way to tap into this shoulder level. And when price gets there, we begin to see our buy continuation because we've had a fresh high at the top there. So it's going to be something of this nature we are looking to see price trade. So the new low is going to be this low here, right? And we are targeting all the way to the upside. Now, if you are targeting all the way to the upside, I'm of the opinion just do your maybe 1:2, 3 and move out. But you may want to target this or that block here. Reason being that when price get there, we need to see some price reaction because of the consolidation we had there prior to this massive sell-off. All right, so that is for this 75 1x. That is what we are looking out to see on the 75 1S. And lastly, for this 10, we've seen that our price has been it has resumed its bullish move on the lower time frame because we were expecting that this low should hold initially before, but it was taken out. Then we saw some little consolidation on the daily time frame, and now we are seeing the bullish momentum all the way to the upside. As a matter of fact, we've seen now that price now took out this particular high on this 10 index. All right, so what should be our next expectation? My expectation for this 10 index is that if we are going to see a clean and clear more buy, then price should react to this shoulder here. So this should be the next point to join if there would be any form of buy. But if not, that means there's high probability we see a sell continuation, and that is going to happen somewhere around this level here if price could take out this liquidity point around this level here. All right, so this is for this 10 index. Well, let's check it on the lower time frame to see what is going on the lower time frame, the 1 hour time frame. Now for 1 hour, very clean and clear, just confirming what we're seeing on the 4-hour time frame. So it is very obvious here that we must wait for price to take out this inducement and trade into the 4-hour POI, and which is a clear move that we should see price do something of this nature with our stop loss just below this level and our take profit some pips to the upside. All right, so that is that for the synthetic indices this morning. As you all know that you can trade your synthetic indices all around the clock. All right, so right now we'll be moving into the analysis of the dollar index right now. So we'll be going straight into the analysis of the dollar index right about now, and having us bring that is Cynthia. Good morning. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, Lekon. Thank you so much for that wonderful analysis. I'm looking out to take some pips from the synthetics market. So we'll just be heading straight to the to dollar, Euro USD, and GBP USD to see what price has in stock for us. Please confirm if you can see my screen and we'll take it from there. So I believe you can see my screen from wherever you are around the world. And the XY, I've been looking at this price point from the weekly time frame for price to tap into this left shoulder right here at 107.490. Shoulder sweep break, return right back into this level. And I want to short the dollar on the weekly time frame. Right, I'm looking out for price to retrace right back into this other block right here, residing at 99.560. And once that happens, I want to keep buying the dollar. On 1 hour time frame, we're looking out for a sell into the other block on the daily time frame before the continuation of the buy to the upside. So I'm looking out for a sell to buy on the dollar. On the 15 minutes time frame, let's look out for entries for the sell of the dollar. There is none that has come into fruition yet. On the 5 minutes time frame also, there is no entry based on the classic box pattern. Right, it's quite choppy, but we'll keep our eyes glued for entry signals on the dollar. On GBP USD, let's see what GU has for us. All right. So on the weekly time frame, we're actually looking out for price to retrace right back into this level. 1.24683 shoulder sweep break, returning to this level, and I want to keep longing long term on the weekly time frame. And on the daily time frame, I'm looking out for one more push into this level that I've marked, this zone right here. Right, the precise point is 1.36145. I want to see price trading all the way into this level before continuing the short on GBP USD. On the 4 hour time frame, let's see price. The most recent price action seems to be bullish, so it's in alignment with our outlook for today for the buy of GBP USD. And on the 5 minutes time frame, right here, we want to rather on the 15 minutes time frame, I want to see price returning right back into 1.34582 before longing GBP USD. So I'm bullish on GBP USD, right? Short-term buy, and once price retraces into our point of interest for the sale of GU, we will short GU. But for today, I want to see price returning into this left shoulder at 1.358 again, and then I will long GBP USD. And last on my list being Euro USD. The weekly time frame as seen right here, right? We're still looking at this price point for price to retrace into. The left shoulder right here at 1.06773. Shoulder sweep break, return right back into this level, and we want to daily time frame. I'm looking out for price to reach right back into this level all the way into the other block here, and at 1.16000. 4 hour time frame, let's see. It's caught in a range, right? But to the upside. So we should see a breakout of this range all the way to the other block that we're looking out. So we'll just be looking to see what Euro USD does. It's caught in a range. Once it breaks out of the range, best believe I'm looking out for buy opportunities. But for now, I'm just going to keep my eyes glued to see what the market does on Euro USD. So my most preferred buy for today will be GBP USD. Since the Euro USD is caught in the range, once price returns into my POI on GBP USD, I'll be right on time to take opportunities in the market. Right about now, we'll be heading straight to the commodities market to see what, I beg your pardon. We'll be heading straight to the commodities market to see Abby's outlook on NZD-USD, AUD-USD, and USD CAD. Good morning, Abby.
All right, good morning, Cynthia. Thank you for that very insightful session. So, like she said, we're going to be going into the commodity currencies market once the opportunities present themselves today. Starting off with look at USD CAD on the H4 time frame. You see that USD CAD has been buying for a very long time. The dominant structure point here is a buy move. However, looking at most recent price action, which is where we saw this structure point go to the downside, we're now having temporal break of structures, right? To the downside. Also paying attention to the sunshine indicator, basically signifying that people who took or gave this reversal of the are starting to take profit out of the market. Hence, we're expecting this particular asset class to give us temporal buy opportunities before, temporal buy opportunities into this zone before either it continues to buy in sync with the major structure points or it comes into this flip zone, previous support or resistance, follow this temporal break of structure we've been seeing and give us confirmatory BOS to the downside, right? Looking at the H1 time frame, what do we see? On the H1 time frame now, that break of structure we saw on H4 is even clearer here. This is where price currently is, and you see that we've now marked out POIs that could be where price trades into. The first POI being 1.40540, the second one being 1.41383. So I'm basically saying that USD CAD is going to buy or should buy from where it currently is into either this zone from point A to point B, or after it gets into this level, it's going to violate and trade all the way into 1.41383. Now, I understand that not all of us have these indicators, and some of us may be wondering, what these indicators are. It's understandable. If you don't have the indicators, as this is solely for students of the Value for Trading Academy, make sure that you pay attention to the price points that I'm calling out. So on the H1, what did I say I'm looking at? A temporal buy move into 1.40540 or 1.41383. Moving down to the 5-minute time frame now, you also see that I already have major level points marked out, major support and resistance levels. So I'm saying USD CAD should buy, right? However, there's something that could act as resistance here, previous support and resistance, or violate this zone is going to trade all the way into these levels. We also have the indicators in between that I advise you also pay attention to, particularly this one at 1.40343. So price is here, violate this move, you're coming either here, or here, right? However, I do believe that USD CAD is going to give us more buy moves, before it either continues to buy, break through this structure point, continues to buy on H4, or it is going to hit this and then give us more confirmatory that the sell is going to be happening, right? Moving to the next asset class, which is NZD-USD, also on the H4 time frame, what do we see? Predominantly, price has been selling for a long time. Zooming into most recent price action, we've been seeing buys. In fact, price has not just broken structure to the upside, it has also given us confirmatory BOS to the upside. However, in the process of doing that, sunshine has also been printed, making me to believe that NZD-USD is going to give us temporal sell opportunities. Temporal sell opportunities into POIs on the H1, which are 0.58243, 0.57784, and 0.57550. So NZD-USD should sell into this, or this before either continues to buy with these confirmatory break of structures we've seen here, or respects the major structure points and continues to dig lower. But what we're trying to see is confirmations. We already know one of two things is going to happen, and we know the POIs are watching out for. So when price comes here, we see confirmations. We're going to be acting either, for more sell opportunities or more buy opportunities, depending on which one has a stronger bias. Today is Monday, and it's expected. Moving into tomorrow, there's going to be way clearer moves, right? Now for NZD-USD on the 5-minute time frame, you see that I've also marked out those same 4 level points here. First one is 0.58569, the second is 0.58471, third is 0.58333, and the fourth one is 0.58234. These are now the 4 major POIs that I'm watching out for. So what am I thinking is going to happen on this asset class? I said we're looking at temporal sell opportunities. So price could either come and break below this, give a retest of this zone. Then we'll know that NZD-USD is ready to give us, more sell opportunities into this point of interest on the M5 or the point of interest on the H1. right? So we'll be watching. Again, what's my bias overall for this asset class? I am seeing a temporal sell move happening today. And the overall move is now either going to be a buy, provided these levels hold. But for now, I think it's going to be retracement. And USD CAD as well was my bias for those of us who don't fully understand everything I just said. My bias for USD CAD is now a temporal buy. A temporal buy in here, and then when price comes here, I see what's going to be the stronger one and I move along with it. And then finally looking at the AUD/USD on the H4 time frame. AUD/USD H4 time frame. So this is currently chopped up, looking like some sort of range but to the upside. When you zoom in, you see how all these indicators are kind of intertwined. So let's go to the H1 time frame and look for a clearer picture. On the H1 time frame as well, they also seem to be all. I prefer when these indicators are separated so that I know where price is going to be trading into. So for me to now get a clearer picture, we can go down to the 5-minute time frame to see the levels that we've marked out, right? Now, the 5-minute time frame, everything is pointing upwards, looking at these indicators and price as well. These are now the major POIs that we've marked out. POI 1, point of interest 2, point of interest 3, which happens to have double confluence with the level we marked out on H1, and point of interest 4, right? So this is where price currently is. Either we see AUD/USD do this, bounce into this zone and continue to buy, or you're going to validate and keep pushing to the upside. So now we're going to go back to the H1 time frame and see. When you see the H1 time frame, minor structure points, even though right now it looks like they are intertwined together, minor structure points is still breaking towards the upside, right? Go back to H4 to look for our sunshine indicator, zoom in so we can see clearly. The last sunshine we had was somewhere around here. So is it possible that AUD/USD is going to push higher, print a new sunshine around this zone? Right, we're going to be watching now. It's a popular saying we go by when it is not obvious, it is dubious, and we don't want to force something out of something that is not so clear. So for AUD/USD, we're going to wait and basically just wait till we have a better picture, just like we did on NZUSD and USD CAD before we act on this asset class. All right, so that's pretty much it on my end. Very shortly, we're going to move into the next asset, which will be covered by my colleague Demola. Demola, what do you have for us today?
Okay, thank you for that analysis on commodity. All right, very quickly this morning, we'll be looking at the market, indices market, US equities. Start with US30, NAS 100, and S&P 500, right? For those that are familiar with market color, we look at this every week. All right, so what is happening in this market? As you can see on the daily time frame, we are bullish, right? We are very, very much bullish in the market. Although we had some form of sell-off last week, right? You can see Friday and Thursday, we had the market selling off. In fact, on Tuesday, the market sold off. However, quickly it was rejected, right? It's just simplifying it's as in the market. Of English told by and then this morning, what am I expecting? I'm expecting some form of retracement to the upside, because as you can see here, that the market is clearly bullish on the daily time frame. I hope that makes sense, right? So by the time we move to the 4-hour time frame, it now begins to make even more sense, right? We can see obviously here that price has cleared liquidity. We have a clear of liquidity around the zone, right? And then we see market trying to do what? Trying to rally to the upside. And where are we targeting? Where are the liquidity points we are targeting? This first point here, right? 52,582 spot 50, and then 52,848.11. Eventually, when price clears off this internal liquidity, or should we call it external liquidity? Yes. So we want price to take out this and then eventually go for this. All right, that being said, on the 1-hour time frame, it now begins to make sense. Why are we looking out for a buy? We can see a shift in structure, right? We've seen price shift structure here, shift structure, and then some form of sharp liquidity sweep, and then rejection. Shift reject your side box strategy. And by the time it now becomes very obvious. You have a sweep, a break to the upside, price have shifted structure, right? Twice. The first one being here, and the second one, which I marked out earlier. So it makes sense for us now to be looking out for buys, right? It makes sense for us to be looking out for buys. And then, of course, price is rejecting off this zone here. Price is rejecting off this zone here. Somebody will say, okay, I missed out this portion. I missed out this, trade idea. How can I enter this market again, right? So very shortly, we can see this zone. Let me mark out this entire zone and then make it make sense, right? Inside this zone, this is on 15 minutes, you will see that there's also a shift again, right? A sweep on this lower time frame. A sweep of this lower time frame. So let's go to the 5-minute time frame. On the 5-minute time frame, we have multiple areas that we can target. This looks very, very, very much valid. This area, right? This other block has not been tested before. The question is, would price want to get there before you start pumping to the upside? I don't know. And using this area, we have a very, very tight risk to reward, right? Very, very tight risk to reward. This is 1:3.7 already, and then closing everything. This 1:8, right? This is you not being greedy or you being allowing price to breathe, right? However, if you want a very tight stop loss, then we'll just be looking just below this, and this will give us probably 1:16, 1:16 trade, right? But then if you want to be very, very careful about this entire trade, just the first one will be just below this, right? 1:8, and the second one will be the same trade, but then covering the entire area, right? Covering the entire area. This is just 1:3, right? So covering the entire area. So we have a potential 1:8, and then if you just want the market to, regardless, cover this entire area so that market can, price can actually do what it wants to do, then we're looking at 1:3. None of them is bad, right? Depending on what you're looking for. A tighter SL, in fact, like I mentioned earlier, a tighter SL can give you 1:16, right? On this particular trade, right? Because price has done everything it needs to do, right? We've taken, except, if we, for some form of reason, we see price coming into this other block again, right? If we see price coming into this other block again, that can now be some form of, of course, definitely you'll have been taken out, you have been stopped out here, right? But if we don't see that happening with what price has done already, taking some form of liquidity here and then broken all of this previous high, then we should see a return to this level and then ultimately to the first stop here, and then the second stop over here. That's 1:24. That's a little ambitious, right? But then let's see what the market does. All of this is contingent on price reacting before New York market open, or right into New York market open. We are seeing that price comes back here around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then begins to rally again to the upside. Right? Typically, that's how US 30, move when it eventually wants to move. Right? So bullish on the markets today, this week. I'm bullish on the markets, except we see something that causes chaos, right? Some form of geopolitical tension, right? Or some form of earnings that is lower than expected. Then we should now see the market tanking temporarily as it does. All right. So moving to the next one, US 100 on the daily time frame, you can see also that we are in a range on the daily time frame for US 100. We have been in this massive range, right? Since May. I've been in this massive range, and then of course we've taken opportunity to both buy and sell, right, in this range. However, that doesn't remove the fact that this is a range. All right, that being said, on the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? What do we have? Last week, I was trying to remember our setup. This was the setup we had, and then market selling off from this zone, right? We had the same thing on US 30 last week, but then price didn't get to that level, but it did go to our level on NAS 100, right? A form of sweep. This, right? Price clearing all of this, and then we'll now use that to, continue our sales in the market. If the market wants to continue selling, I mean, a break of the range on the daily time frame, right? So, but right now, price hasn't broken. Not seeing that break of structure yet. That grab of this liquidity, all right? The only one we had was for this one, which is fine. And the market is retracing. So this morning, very quickly, everything being equal, also on the 1-hour time frame, or let me go to 15-minute time frame, I'm seeing like opportunities for me to buy in this market, right? Opportunities for me to buy very quickly before we resume the sell eventually, if the market wants to sell or continue this sell it has started, right? So you have this big order block that's not been tested before, this large order block, but I wouldn't want to use that, right? I wouldn't want to use that order block. However, I'm seeing something interesting here. We have two areas. This first one here, which is very so at this on 5 minutes, anything can still happen. And then the second one, this fresh zone I've tested before, right? Tested before, and we have a lot different forms of inducement, right? This form of equal lows around this zone. So there's every reason for price to come back, take this inducement, take it out, and then continue moving to the upside, right? Continue moving to the upside, and with this we can get at least say 1:6-ish. This is giving 1:9, right? So that's if this level holds, right? But not to be too ambitious, let's even use our target as this first zone, 1:7. Okay. So this is a good potential trade opportunity I'm looking out for this morning, all things being equal, of course, on the lower time frame that I'm looking at for. If for any reason price stops us out there, and I'll be looking forward to taking my buy from this zone. I use this other block, I use the body, and then of course we might take profit this first zone here, or overall this zone itself, right? Overall this zone, because this was the zone that created this eye here. So definitely I'm looking at price taking it out. Another 1:9. So all of this, we'll be looking forward to the New York market session, which is the main driver of this market, right? So we're looking at the New York market session. If for any reason before New York opens, price is already here, probably it's going, this level will not hold, right? If this level might not hold, and then eventually price coming back into this zone. The typical thing I love to see is that we see some form of range happening here before 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and by the time 2 o'clock comes, now see price probably with a week, and then we see a rejection, right? A week on this. Now you have to be smart about it. If you know your broker will not pick your order, you want to put your entry just a little bit above, right? So that they can actually pick your order, right? They can trigger your limit order. And so that's what I'll be expecting. A typical, this type of move, this kind of schematic is what I'll be expecting in the market, right? If it happens, then I know we're good to go. All right, that being said, thank you for joining this morning. Of course, like
Our training session begins this week for the ATM cash flow training. If you are totally new in the market, you saw the analysis Lecom did, and you want to understand how that works, right, in that market or that broker derive, then you want to take the ATMC course, which helps you to understand the markets without the noise of, micro economics. You're not thinking about the bombings, the Iran, the, inflation and all of that. Those factors does not affect the synthetic market. So you want to learn that. And of course, if what we said this morning across board commodities, gold, indices, of course, DXY, dollar index, makes a lot of sense to you, and you want to learn how we're able to, understand this market and break it down like this, then the FX Bootcamp is your best choice, right? So you should send us a DM on our WhatsApp line, right? And then we will respond to any of our social media, and on Facebook, on Instagram, right? And we would respond to you even on Telegram. We are available, Value Flow Trading. All right. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I'll see you on Friday, where we do a recap of all of this that has been said, right? The wins, then of course the losses, if there's any, and then we also do a recap of what is to happen next week, right? Until next time, I wish you all a profitable trading. Cheers and God bless, guys.